Hi, I'm Tilly. Thanks for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Welcome to your Daily Focus, January the 19th, 2026. So we have the 19 energy today. The 19 energy is beautiful because the 19 energy is us. It's understanding our accomplishments, how we've honed our skills, our talents, our abilities, how we have become the person we are today because of the challenges and the successes that we have been through in the past. There's also a recognition under the 19 energy that new paths are forming, and we see new paths when a 19 energy appears. It tells us that we have completed a stage of our life, a progression of our life. It's time to elevate, go towards a new path completely, but in some way or some form, stepping into what will be the new version of us going forward. 1 plus 9 is a 10. The wheel is always turning. The seasons are always changing, and we too must go with the flow of the season that we are in our lives. We need to, in some way, recognize that without getting off the wheel, we need to go with the flow with the energy, and therefore we must think about the path we are walking, the season we are in, and the season we are walking towards. And what successes, what joys, what celebrations do we want to find during that season? What kind of growth, what kind of harvest? So it's a time to be the narrator of your story and to write that story like you've already done it. You've already gone through that energy, and to feel the energy of who you have become because you met the challenges, because you made the plan, you worked the strategy, you gave it a focus and energy and time. 1 plus 0 is a 1. The 1 energy is the I am energy. It's about being the independent and knowing that you have the capabilities to go forward. We see our capabilities, we understand our potential. We know that we can gain true success if we put ourselves into it, if we raise the standard, raise the bar of who we want to become in the world going forward. The horizon widens here, the choices are many. The opportunities, the adventures, the learning experiences, the new relationships are all on the horizon for us. And in which way do we step? Be the trailblazer, be the pioneer. Now, if we look at the daily numerology, yes, 1 plus 1 plus 1, our third portal that started on January the 1st. Then we had it on January the 10th. Now we're having it on January the 19th. Just wait, October. So, most years we get 2, sometimes 3, but this is going to be 6 times for the portal, late October. So this is the final portal of thinking about the new beginnings, making the decisions on where we want to put our focus and our attention. What is most important to us? What needs our attention now? 1 plus 1 plus 1 is a 3. Did I say enough ones there? And the 3 energy is about transformation. It's about creative energy. It's about curiosity. The 3 energy is our mind and our thoughts and our imagination and our voice and our communication. Okay, let's turn to the cards. You know what? Before we turn to the cards, Sun is in Aquarius. Happy birthday to my Aquarians. Moon is in Aquarius, and I don't know how I forgot that to do that in the weekly astrology, but I somehow did. And the minute I finished it, I went, I don't think I talked about that at all. And it's so pivotal to where we are right now. So you need to know this energy. Okay. So both the sun and the moon move into Aquarius at the same time. And at the very couple of the first several points or degrees of Aquarius, Pluto sits. So both the sun and the moon conjunct Pluto, and I think I talked about both of those. So we're kind of good there. So, I'm just going to squeeze it in really fast here because I really think it's vitally important that you know how the energy is shifting. Know that the first days of being in Aquarius, they both cross over Pluto. And this means that that fresh start that we thought we were walking into, it starts feeling like a full on rebirth for ourselves. Intensity will rise when Pluto gets involved. But Aquarius is usually cool, future focused, more for the collective, but yet for the individual as well, ourselves. So, community and connections are very strong characteristics of this energy. We have this pull towards people and groups and causes and friendships and community networks and networks, work networks, perhaps, family networks that align with our values. Tech, tech and future themes get quite loud under the Aquarian energy. So we'll see big shifts around technology. So we'll probably see the fastest growth ever in AI, which is, well, I think it's going to be the next 20 years actually, because Pluto's in there. But right now we'll see a spike. We'll see a spike. But when Pluto comes in, it's going to add this heat. Okay, there's going to be the sense of urgency and seriousness, and a sense that something has to change. It has to change at this time for real, not just hopes and wishes and murmurs in the background. Okay, power themes will come to surface. So ask yourself, who has influence over me? And where am I giving my power away? Where am I craving control because I feel uncertain? Okay, so yeah. Aquarius energy, is all about the collective, honest, fair, inventive, creative, and really thinking outside the box, coming up with new strategies and plans and solutions to our problems. Okay, let's go to the cards, shall we? And the energy is extreme, has been extreme. And I haven't looked that far in the charts yet, but the astrologers are saying this is like, this energy, we're going to feel it for weeks on end, if not months on end. So we have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is our underlying energy, and our Queen of Wands is she's freedom craving. She really is. She wants to feel freedom and liberation. She wants to create. She wants to do and roll up her sleeves and get to work, but she asks the qualifying questions before she does anything. She makes sure that she is making the right decision before taking a step forward, but she doesn't wait for perfection in the plan. She starts the plan almost at the same time of learning how to actually master the plan. What should be the first step is the only concern she has. But once she starts, people around her just want to be a part of it. They don't even know what it is. She doesn't know what it is either, but she's not telling them that. She gave it a phony name. And and they're all rolling up their sleeves and doing whatever she needs them to do to be part of the energy of what she is building, of what she is creating. So know that when you make up your mind, there will be support behind you. And it's okay to be a little creative and uneasy. And, you're walking into probably uncharted territories for yourself. So know that the old you can't do this and you have to step into the boots of the new you. To just start and see where it lands and ask the qualifying questions and stay open to suggestion and healthy criticisms. Knight of Wands. Queen and the Knight are here. Now, the Knight is kind of like a no man's land, and that might be how we feel in some respects. We've come. This card is really, it's my no man's land. It's I gave it that name, and it's kind of like a three-parter. One is we have to stop, just very much like the 19 energy. We have to stop and recognize our accomplishments and our patience and our resilience and our strength and our courage that we have formed and grown into. Self-worth and self-value, self-love are all included in there. How you have grown as an individual, how you've come to this point in time. And to give thanks that you had the guidance and you gathered sage wisdom and knowledge and honed your skills, and say thank you. Say thank you for the experience. And the second part of this is we're in the here and now. We've dismounted, right? We've stopped on our path. We're kind of in between stories, our chapters of our life. We're in the here and now, and we have to be realistic and we have to be truthful to ourselves about our here and now. And look for things that actually you're grateful for in your life. You're happy to have them in your life. Maybe it's the lights are still going on. In today's age, that might be for several reasons. Maybe you have a very close friend that your hearts connect. You don't even have to talk, really. You finish each other's sentences. Maybe you just have the most beautiful backyard and you can't wait for the middle of the summer when everybody's out and about and you have those little backyard parties at your house. Whatever it might be for you. Maybe it's just sitting down and knitting or crocheting a big Afghan for yourself, right? The more you do it, the warmer you get, right? Because it starts to cover you. But just give thanks. Give thanks for your strength and your magic and your courage of who you have become. Recognize yourself in that gratitude. And then the third part is before we get back on the horse, we talk about our future, our choices, our decisions with our maker, God, the angels, our guides, our higher self. And we have that talk, we have that communication of what we expect to find on our path forward, what we want to walk into on our step forward. And we are sincere about it, and we are emotional about it. And when we are ready and we've got ourselves composed, that's when we get back on the horse and we start riding forward. And I don't think this is a very long thing because it's in the first. So I think we're almost at the point where we need to get back on that horse and start riding again, but not in this moment, not at the very beginning of all of this, because we are coming to what we truly want. We are declaring what we want going forward, that one thing, that one drive, that one intention, that one need, that one passion. The 10 of Wands. So we got all wands here. Wow, it's a thinking day. It's a thinking day, that's for sure. Here we struggle. We struggle. The wands in the backpack, they represent our challenges, the things that we are working on, the things we want to do, the things that, take up our everyday life and experience, the friends we have. And we need to stop because it seems like we're carrying the burden, the load. It's slowing us down. It's not allowing us to go even half as fast. Okay, look at your stance here. You're struggling. Each step is a struggle as you try and balance all that weight on your back and keep it upright and keep yourself upright in the process. You need to stop for a moment. You need to unpack that backpack and see the wands. And when you see the wands, you'll see some have great growth potentials and others are deadwood. And this is a time to leave the deadwood behind us. We don't want to take that baggage forward with us. So if there is that conversation to have, if, these are the things, right? We have, a simpler plan, a cleaner boundary, that conversation that we have to have. Or maybe it's just that one brave step to pivot away from that sack completely and just trust that the things we need will be provided. And then we have the Queen of Cups. Well, do you think that you are deserving of a wonderful life? It's not owed to us. If we want to be honest, it's not owed to us, but it's available to us if we so choose. This is believing in ourselves. This is knowing we deserve. We sit here as the Queen of Cups, the Queen of love and empathy and beauty. Our goals, our dreams, our desires, our passions. And we get to fill our cup with any dream, any desire, any goal we want. So, how are you going to fill that cup? Will it be overflowing with successes and celebrations and happiness and joy? Where do you see the successes happening? Now, we can put anything we want into that cup, but if we are not being practical, if we are not being grounded, and we just ask for something that is really, you know, 1,001 shot, or maybe a million and one shot, or a trillion and one shot away from really happening, and we won't believe it. We won't believe that we are truly capable of doing that. You are, by the way, okay? We all are completely capable of reaching that goal, that dream, that desire. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a part of our thoughts and our imagination and our heart's desire. But if we don't believe that we deserve it, even if it does come to us, say you wanted $1 million, you win the lottery, okay? What do you hear about people that win those jackpots? 3 years, 5 years, 7 years down the road, they've gone bankrupt. Why have they gone bankrupt? Because they did not believe that they should have that much money in their life. And so it just disappeared. The more they try to hold on to it, the more it disappears. And that's usually the way the universe works. The more we try to hold, the harder it gets to hold, so we squeeze tighter instead of just letting it go and serving us. Okay? Because even if you don't want to be rich, there is 1,001,000,000 ways of utilizing that money to help others. So money is a vehicle. What do you want to do? What do you want to grow? Okay, very important. Let's see what our animals have to say. So, how are you going to fill that cup? This is the day of decisions. I heard a day of reckoning. Perhaps. And this is very much in our control. Okay, we don't have made any major arcana here. Major arcana usually says this is going to happen one way or another, but with the minor cards, we have a lot of free will. We can avoid it. We can turn away from it. We can isolate ourselves. We can escape from the problems, hoping it'll just magically go away. We can keep carrying that burden. We don't have to draw that line in the sand, that healthy boundary. We don't have to look for new solutions to old problems. We don't have to tap into those fresh ideas that whiz through our mind. We have free will. So I'm going to ask you, what is the one decision that you can make today that your future self is going to thank you for? Our animal today is strut your stuff with the peacock. Okay? We want to be front and center. We want to feel our strength. We want to feel our beauty. We want to realize just how deserving we are and to start strutting our stuff. Beauty, confidence, foresight, and clairvoyance. Never bend your head, always hold it high, look the world straight in the eye. Peacock is completely aware of his beauty and wants you to work on believing that you too are beautiful inside and out. Peacock believes that you have lost confidence with your inner and outer appearance. Oftentimes, to regain that confidence, you will have to fake it to make it, and it is then that you will push yourself into a vibration which is true self. Peacock may have come into your life to show you that you are coming into a new spiritual growth path. So it may be time to start working on something with your spirituality. And if you're feeling less than beautiful, embrace Peacock and allow them to help you strut your stuff. No, I was listening to something early 2025 stating how 2026 and 2027 would, and probably 2025, would all be in the history books one day, because there's going to be so much change and change potential. So try and go with the flow. I know it's uneasy energy. I know it's restless energy. You know, if you're on my Patreon or my membership here on YouTube, then you have access to the video I did on balance that will help you. That will help you. That will give you a tool in your back pocket that you can use at any moment of the day when you are feeling stressed or confused, or you're panicking, or you've got high anxiety, or a fear or a limitation has presented itself that kind of makes you go backwards in time a little bit. And that's okay. I've given you a tool for that. So tap into that. Also, I don't even know if I mentioned that I put out a blog for the Capricorn new moon, and I broke down, yes, at the bottom, I broke down each individual sign. So go and check out your horoscope for how this energy, how you can work with this energy, how you can embrace it and work towards your goals, your dreams, your desires. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.